Great day, great day, great day. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. All right. So, as you enter the room on this morning, let me know where you're joining from. Today, we're talking about why understanding is a leadership asset. And this is a conversation that every leader needs to hear. So, make sure you take your notes. Make sure you have a pad and a pen because note takers are money makers. Welcome to the Breathe Self Leadership Podcast. This is a leadership podcast that is for women who understand the most important things about being a leader, which includes being able to lead oneself. So I'm Dr. Obioma Martin, your leadership strategist, educator, and what I often call the midwife to millionaire CEOs. My assignment is helping women to cultivate the inner wisdom required to steward their influence, their leadership, and their legacy. Today, we are continuing our Wisdom Leadership series from the Book of Proverbs. And today, we're delving into Proverbs chapter 2, verses 6 through 11. Now, the title for today is Why Understanding is a Leadership Asset. I want that to kind of just sit with you for a second. Why understanding is a leadership asset? Number one, wisdom gives direction. Understanding gives clarity. So write that down. Wisdom gives direction. Understanding gives clarity. As a leader, it is so imperative that in all that we get understanding, that we do not just take a piece of information and allow that sound bite to be the whole representation of what happened. We have to get the whole story. So leaders who lack clarity often create confusion, not only for themselves, but for everyone connected to their vision. Now, Proverbs chapter 2, verses 6 through 11 says, For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He holds success in store for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk is blameless, for he guards the course of the just and protects the way of his faithful ones. Then you will understand what is right and just and fair, every good path. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will protect you, and understanding will guard you. Now, this passage reveals something powerful about leadership. The scripture tells us that the Lord gives wisdom, but from that wisdom flows two additional assets. Write that down: knowledge and understanding. Many of us pursue knowledge. Many of us pursue understanding because knowledge gathers information and understanding interprets meaning. Knowledge answers the question, what is happening? But understanding answers the deeper question, why is this happening? So I want you to just think about a time, even think about this week. You are in your leadership role and a situation happened. Now, you may have immediately said, what is happening, and begin to try to problem solve by understanding what is happening. I want you to think about, did you also ask yourself or ask your staff or the people that you were working with, why is this happening? See, both questions are essential to us understanding the bigger picture to the problem that exists. So leaders who understand the why can make decisions that bring stability rather than confusion. Understanding is one of the most underrated leadership assets. Many intelligent leaders still make poor decisions because intelligence alone does not guarantee clarity. Understanding allows us to perceive what is happening beneath the surface, also known as the iceberg of a situation. It allows us to recognize patterns others miss. It helps us to navigate people, timing, motives, and environments with discernment. Think about it like this. I like to think about it as Sherlock Holmes. We as leaders, we have to become investigators. We have to become curious. We can't just ask the what, but we actually need to ask the 5 W's: what, when, why, where, right? What is this for? What? Let me see. Why, what, when, where? I feel like I'm missing one. Who? That's the 5. Who? So who, what, when, where, why? Those are the 5 W's. As a leader, before we begin to problem solve, those 5 W's are the questions that we need to answer before we move forward and before we then tell whosoever what the next steps are going to be. So, understanding allows us to perceive, again, what is happening underneath the iceberg, the surface. It allows us to recognize patterns others miss, and again, to help us to navigate the people, that's the who, the timing, understanding the who, what, when, where, why, and how, timing, motives, environment, when, and it gives us discernment because we have the whole picture. So Proverbs tells us that understanding helps us recognize what is right, just, and fair. In other words, understanding strengthens ethical leadership. It protects leaders from decisions that may be efficient but not righteous. Let me share 3 ways understanding functions as a leadership asset. Number 1, understanding creates clarity in complex situations. Every leader eventually faces situations that are layered with competing priorities, personalities, and pressures. Information alone is not enough in those moments. Understanding helps us discern the deeper dynamics. It helps us to see the root of the problem rather than treat the symptoms. Symptoms mean reacting based on what we see on the surface. And leaders who can see clearly lead more confidently. We always need to understand what is happening at the root level. What is the root cause? Again, not just what happened, but why it happened. Second, we must understand that when we have this information, it strengthens our ability to lead people. Leadership is never about strategy alone. Leadership is about people. And people carry histories, emotions, and motivations that are not always visible on the surface. They come with a whole history and background based on their experiences at that current job, in that current position, and then what happened to them before they even got to us, before they got to that situation, before they got to that position, before the fight broke out, before the misunderstanding happening, before people caught feelings. A leader with understanding learns to listen beyond words. They recognize tone, they recognize tension, they recognize when someone needs correction and when someone needs encouragement. Understanding allows leaders to lead people with both wisdom and compassion. Number 3, understanding protects our future decisions. Some decisions feel exciting in the moment, but create consequences later. Think about it this way. Have you ever said yes in the moment, and then after you got additional information, you had to go back and retract and apologize and say, I'm sorry, I gave my yes too soon, or I apologize. Maybe many of us led with pride and ego and didn't apologize. Now, that's not how I lead, but I've definitely experienced that from other leaders where they never even apologized for what they said or what they did. They just kept on moving forward as if they didn't say what they said before, which led to all of the confusion that is now happening amongst whosoever is a part of that project or that decision or that task or, whatever. You can fill in the blanks. So some decisions feel exciting in the moment, but in haste, when we lack being curious and asking additional questions, who, what, when, where, why, who, all of those things, it causes confusion and it damages people. It damages people. So understanding helps us evaluate the long-term implications of our choices, and that wise leaders ask a different question than impulsive leaders. I don't know about you, but I'm going to tell on me. I used to be an impulsive leader. Instead of asking, do I want this right now? I've learned to ask, what will this decision produce 5 years from now? Listen, don't miss that. Please write that down. Don't ask what's happening right now. Become a forward thinker and ask, how is this decision going to impact, or what this decision is going to produce 5 years from now? That question alone protects many of us from regret later. Now, let me ask you to reflect on this. Where in your leadership do you need deeper understanding? Is there a situation where you have information but not yet clarity? Maybe you are navigating a partnership. Maybe you are navigating a contract. Maybe you are navigating a conflict between employees, between clients, between politicians, or between family members, or between your children, wherever you see yourself. Maybe you are making a financial decision. Maybe you are discerning the next step in your vision. Proverbs remind us that when wisdom enters the heart and knowledge becomes pleasant to the soul, something powerful happens. Discretion protects us and understanding guards us. That means the leader who seeks wisdom is not only directed, they are protected. Now, let me speak to my women. As women leaders, entrepreneurs, educators, and visionaries, we must value understanding as one of our greatest assets, because understanding produces clarity. Clarity produces confidence, and confident leadership builds stable futures. Now, if this episode have encouraged you today, please share it with another woman leader who is committed to growing in wisdom. And if you want to deepen your journey in self-leadership and strategic clarity, visit Obioma.org, where you'll find resources designed to help women govern their lives, leadership, and legacy with wisdom. Until next time, keep breathing, keep leading, and remember, understanding is the leadership asset that turns wisdom into action. Let me say that again, because I got a little tongue-tied at the end there. Understanding is the leadership asset that turns wisdom into action. So I want to encourage you to do a self-examination and think by pausing before you respond in haste or out of emotion. Ask what, why, or I should say, ask who, what, why, when, where, and then make your decision. Again, I'm Dr. Obioma Martin, the midwife to millionaire CEOs. Hi, I'm Dr. Obioma Martin, and I want to invite you to something truly amazing, the Believe Bigger 8-week group coaching program. I created this program for women who may not necessarily have the resources to work with me individually in executive coaching. However, you still deserve a space to grow, learn, and scale together. And this is why I created this space for us to come together for 8 weeks. We meet once a week online, and in that time, we focus on mindset mastery, discovering your purpose, stepping into your power, and showing up with presence as women leaders, CEOs, and mothers. The truth is, no matter your industry, we all face challenges that can feel isolating. But when we come together, we realize we're not alone, and it becomes crystal clear that it is okay to dream bigger
and to believe bigger, and to do it in a community that truly sees you. If you're ready to step into a space where your growth is nurtured and your journey is celebrated, join us today. Visit obioma.org and let's believe bigger together.